Word for this. New music, new music, new music from Miguel Wealthy. Pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. All right. How it work for this? I hope y'all are having a fantastic day. Happy weekend to you. This is the Positive Forces Show, always giving you more, sending you positive vibes
to change your life.
I'm your host, Kimone Hall.
And I'm your co-host, Yola, Yoli.
Hey, in the house. Yola, how are you today?
I'm good.
Good.
How are you, Kimmy Kim?
I am doing fantastic, actually.
Awesome.
The weather is nice outside.
Yes, not too bad. A little bit cloudy.
Yes.
A little bit sunny, a little bit cloudy, but hey, we're in Georgia.
Yes.
This is normal.
Bipolar season. That's okay. Yeah. Today's a what? And holidays are coming up, breaks are coming up.
Yes, spring break.
Oh my gosh.
I think that Kimone loves spring break more than I do because she's a school teacher, and during the spring break she gets to be like off. Whereas I am not a school teacher. I don't get to be off. So I will be going to work all of spring break.
You know how many work for this? Tell them to get well, dear.
That's how I feel about it.
How many work for this?
And I'm back. Yeah, we're just talking.
Oh, how we work for this? Lyrics, Miguel. Official audio for Miguel Wealthy. Hard work for this bit of itself. Yes. You choose radio, Zion Highness Radio, Reggae Global Radio, Viscosity Blend. Family, we love you. And we just want to say, we hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Hope you are being treated nicely. I hope all your relationship issues have been solved and you're working on them. Anyway, we got to talk about today, how do you know if the person that you're with is the right person for you? All right, so y'all are going to start off with prayer.
Yes.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for bringing us here together on the Positive Forces Show. Bless us, Lord. Bless our listeners. Bless everyone that can get something from what we're going to be talking about today. Lord, remind us that you are always there for us. Walk with us, guide us, Lord. Help us to make good decisions. Help us, Lord, to remember that you're always with us. And even when things are dark or down, we should always praise you. In the ups and the downs, we should always praise you. Amen.
Amen. And the ups and the downs. Is it life filled with ups and downs?
Always. That's normal. It's called life.
It's called life. It's called life. Four-letter word, but it's so large. Big up yourself, Veronica Ellis. I love you, mommy.
Kind of like love. Another 4-letter word.
Yeah, I love
That
it.
it's so big.
Big or hard? Which one are you talking? Love is hard and big.
Yes.
That's true, unfortunately. Any other 4-letter words?
Yes, but we're just going to deal with those two.
Like and share the podcast. You choose radio family. We love you guys.
Life.
Hey, let your friends know that we are on Instagram family, YouTube family. Oh my God. Listen, always enjoy you guys. Always enjoy you guys. We have a Yoli's thought of the day, I am sure.
Yes, we do. And it's short and sweet again, because this week, guys, was kind of tiring for me. It was. It just seems like a lot going on. And I don't know if anyone else felt that way. So it's going to be short and sweet. I'm going to say for Yoli's thought for us for next week is just to be yourself. Be yourself. Always, always go off with the truth and always be yourself. There's only one you. Learn to love yourself more and understand that it's okay to be exactly who you are. And that's it, really. Just be yourself. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with the people that you encounter. And just love yourself and be you. There's just you. There's no one else like you. So don't try to be anyone else. Don't try to pretend to be someone else. Don't try to compete with the Joneses. Just be happy where you are. And if you aren't, try to identify what that is that you think you need to improve on, and know that there's always room to improve, and it's okay. And just be yourself. That's it. That's my thought. I think that a lot of us go around, go around competing and not knowing, judging and not knowing. You might feel envious of somebody and not realize that you are. Because you might want to be where that person is. But, that might not be for you. We all have our own journey, our own purpose, our own place where we're supposed to be. And yeah, some of us can be in the same at the same time, but each of us has our own journey and purpose to get there. So while you're learning that, just be yourself.
Yeah.
Be yourself. Learn to love yourself and know that you are okay. That there's no one else like you. You're here for a purpose.
Yeah, I love that. I think that the envy, the jealousy part, I think that's definitely a flaw that individuals need to work on. Thank God that's not my struggle. Claudia Bromfield, I see you.
My partner.
She said she's okay. I thought she said she's looking great. So I think that every woman should be able to highlight another woman and say, you're wonderful, or you look great today, or oh my gosh, I love your hair, and still feel, empowered in who you are, and not think that because you gave, some glitter or some shine to somebody else, that it degrades you, lowers you, belittles you, or now you're immediately less. I think there's enough space and room for all us queens to be able to
shine,
be who we are, and not be able to intimidate the other person. Because if there's an intimidation, then obviously there's something going on with the self-esteem. Yeah. So we want to make sure that you are definitely giving to others, give to the other, your friends, the women at your workplace, wherever they are. Give them their accolades and make sure you still feel confident in who you are. It's just something that if you can't do it or you find it hard to do it, find someone that you may get along with, one of your friends, and start small and start complimenting them, and and make sure you focus on how you feel once you've said that. And if you feel as if, I've given her more light than myself, and then all of a sudden I feel less than, and because she may not compliment you back, and you may think, that person owes you a compliment because you've given one. No, you're giving it from the heart. You're giving it from, your perspective, and that should just be it. Don't expect a compliment back. Now, if you get a compliment back, then great. But if you don't, that's fine. That compliment, it wasn't your time. It was for that person, all right? It was for that person.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
I personally love to give compliments.
Mhm.
I give a lot of compliments. And for me, giving compliments makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And the reason why it makes me feel good is because I can see how much it makes the other person feel good.
Mm.
I give compliments to strangers.
Mhm.
It just makes me feel good. So
Mhm.
try it, and just be yourself.
Be yourself. Yeah, be yourself. It's good. Just be yourself. That was Yoli's thought for today. And we always appreciate Yoli's thought. We love Yoli's thought. And put it in the comment what you think about it. And let's try this other song again. We serve a very big God. All right, listen, get ready for our topic. Is this the right person for you?
Mhm.
Hey, 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 hey. Listen, man. Oh my God, I love it. All right, so is this person right for you? How do you know, like, is this person right for you? We talk about topics surrounding this, and but sometimes, we could see something in someone, Yola,
Yes.
and we think that person has potential, and we say, might not have everything that I want. She's laughing at the potential word. We might see that this person has potential, but everybody else is saying if it's just potential, it's not enough. What do you think about that?
About what? Potential? Or what do I think about how do you know if this person's for you? Okay, let's do both.
Let's do both.
Let's do both. So I think there is a certain age where seeing somebody that has potential works. And I think there's a certain age where you shouldn't be going for potential. And I also think that when it comes to potential, it has to be a certain time in your life to be okay. When you have time, right? It's okay to go for someone that has potential. And for you to be someone who has potential, because you're on this journey of, self-discovery, making yourself better and all of that. So you have time to deal with potential. But I think there comes a time, I'll say it again, where potential just doesn't work because you're losing time with that. And you don't get time back. I don't know how anybody else feels about this, but if you're somebody that's been in some relationships that have been long-term relationships that have not worked out in the end, right? You haven't gotten to what it is that you were in the relationship for in the first place. That's time that you don't get back, right? It's gone. You learn something from it. We hope. You hope that you learned something, but you don't get that time back. So it's harder, I would say, when you're older to try to be with somebody for potential of that person. Now, how do you know if that person is the right person for you? I think the only way to know is by really getting to know that person. And I think there are, things that you look for in a person that are compatible with you. So I guess we could start with that one, compatibility, which is, it's not just we have the same values. I think compatibility is more than just we have the same values or we think the same way. I think it's more than that. So I think that's definitely one thing for you to know if that is the person for you, is if you guys are compatible and on what level you guys are compatible with one another. What you thinking, Kim?
Well, that compatible word is a big word.
It's big. It seems small and it seems simple, I think, for people, but it's actually really big.
It's a big word, and some people might call it equally yoked. Crank it, DJ smiles, Conrad Henry, love you, love you, love you. And people may say that, you know, if you're compatible, are you equally yoked? Do you both have the same desires? Do you both have the same goals? So compatibility and the equally yoked will mesh, right? And, you know, are we in the same space? Not necessarily do we have like the same things, but we like to be able to help each other on our journey for wherever we're going. All right. So when you're helping each other on your journey and being able to say, okay, this is me, this is who I am, versus this is you, and we, you know, let's grow together. That's where the compatibility would fall in. And then, yes, that's great. You know, do you have any religious beliefs? You know, what is your core foundation? You know, what drives you? And someone said, if you're having a conversation with a potential partner, love interest, and within the first hour, hour and a half, you know, that person doesn't talk about, you know, their religious practices, it's kind of an indication that that person doesn't put God not necessarily, or what they do, their spiritual life, is probably not in the forefront. Because people typically talk more about who they are and what they like up front the most.
Okay, I actually have never heard that before. If you don't talk about your religious beliefs in the first hour, that the person is automatically out.
Not necessarily out, but that's not necessarily their core. Because if
I mean, like a core value, I'm guessing.
A core value. Their core value. It might be something that they do. It might be something that, you know, hey, I go to church on the holidays, or, you know, because that's just not really their core. Their thing is, you know, they work or they're into their business. It could be something else. But if you are a person of faith and you're talking, you're going to use words like God's willing, or, you know, you're going to use the words that interject God, because that's who you are. And you might not even see it or think about it, but it will just come out, because automatically that's how you build your life on that kind of foundation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. How else would you know if the person that you're with, you're supposed to be with? I'm thinking the way that you communicate is important. How you communicate with each other, how you speak or talk to one another. Like if one of you is when you have an argument, I think the best way is if when you have an argument.
So you think it's healthy to have arguments in relationships?
Oh yeah, I think it's healthy, because you're two different people. You're gonna have to argue about something. I mean, there are some couples I'm sure that will say we never argue.
Yeah,
that's great. I don't think there's anything wrong with never arguing. I really don't. I personally am not one that likes confrontation. So I don't like arguing.
Is it possible to never argue though, or are you just always compromising for the other person?
I think that happens too, but no, I think it is possible to not have arguments with the person that you're with, because of the way that you two communicate with each other, right? So if you're the kind of couple that when you have a conflict, you can actually sit and hear each other's side and, you know, identify what it is that you guys are arguing about, your difference in opinion, and come to this place where you're like, okay, I don't really agree with you, but I hear you, I understand you, or whatever it is, then yeah, I think that you can be a couple that doesn't have arguments. And though for the ones that have arguments, how bad are the arguments? How good is your communication? Do you resolve it? Do you sweep it under the rug and it keeps coming up? I kind of feel like if you're in a relationship where you are always arguing and always, on the defensive and always not feeling great after, before, during, or even the fear of having a disagreement because you're going to argue, that's probably not the person you should be.
Yeah, brings on stress, anxiety.
Yeah, who wants to be in that?
That's definitely a red flag, right? I was talking to someone last week, and then they were talking about, they were with their ex, and it's almost like every week, every month, very often, they would break up and get back together and break up and get back together again. I think that, if you're breaking up and getting back together and this person did something and or didn't do anything, they just got tired and they're like, hey, we're done. And once you say you're done, I think there's certain things that you should not just come out and say. If you say you're done, be sure that you're done, because done means finished.
Last time I checked.
Like, when you're done, you're done. So, don't say you're done and then you want the person back. Say, maybe let's take a break. I'd like to think about, where we are. I'd like to regroup. Can we do that together? Can we do that separately? Can I see myself without you? Can I, remove myself a little bit? And that person that you're with has to agree with that as well. Because if they might say, I don't want to break. So if they say they don't want to break, and then you decide that, hey, we're going to take a break, now your communication is flawed. Yeah. So, if you're consistently breaking up and getting back together, that's a sign that maybe that person isn't going to be the best person for you. In the moment, it might feel right. In the moment, it might feel as if, it can work in the long run if we just stick with it. But, that's going to be a lot of work. And both of you have to be intentional in saying, we have to be careful of our words. Some people, they'll say, what? Henrietta Akalazzi, what did she say? That's not really fair because it's difficult when you're going through it. Yeah. Well, tell us more, Henrietta.
Yeah, when you're going through it, what do you mean? That's not really fair because it's difficult when you're going through it. You mean going through the argument? Yeah, it can be, but I still think that I guess you could say maybe there's levels of arguments. Like how far is it going to escalate? How far is too far for you to be in an argument with someone where you're saying all sorts of stuff, you're really angry, and there's things that you can't take back.
Yeah.
But where does it go? It doesn't go anywhere except inside of you and that person. So do you really think that is the person you should be with, the person that says, I for one thing, I think it should give you pause.
She said, when you are going through it, sometimes you do say and feel it's done, but God may not say you're done. Oh yeah, that's absolutely true. You may feel like, what, I don't want it. And, you might see a sign or some, you might have a dream, or you might feel like God is talking to you and you want to hold on. I think that everyone has to gauge, who they're with and what they want in life. I know personally with me, I'm one to just be like, hey, if it's not working out, I prayed about it and I feel in my spirit that this is not the right person, then I'm gonna go with that. But some people will say, hey, and many people live, and I know someone, they've been with years with one particular person, and that, there's nothing there, but they stay because of the union, the institution of marriage. So if that person decides that they want to stay and because of family values or whatever, then that's on them to choose what they would like. But I think that me personally, if we say it's done, I'm done.
Yeah, I think if you say it's done, it's done. I agree with that. But as far as what you're saying, staying in a union, and you guys are not talking to each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I guess you could say the love is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't quite agree with that because I think if you have a definition of love, right? Like let's say spiritually, you know what it says in the Bible that love is, and you're doing all of those things, and your partner doing all those things. Is the love really gone? Or is it that your heart got really hard and now there really isn't God in it?
That's possible too.
That's possible too. So
Conrad Henry said every man in the Bible had 5+ wives.
Okay, BJ Smells, I'm not going there with you today.
He said you can have a relationship without arguing. He had for many years in New York, but not in Atlanta. I guess he's trying to say in New York, the ladies are different from the ones that are in Atlanta. And yeah, you can have you'll have little disagreements, but an argument, yeah, definitely. I can see it. I can see it. Especially if you are really in tune with the person, and if both of you respect each other enough to say, I'm going to stop and I'm going to listen. I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm going to put myself in your position. I'm going to hear you out, be objective in my response, and try to be even objective in my emotions. And even though, for women it's harder, but then stopping and pausing and taking that time to say, let me breathe, let me listen, and let's communicate and look at this objectively as that's why some people say like marriage is like a business, right?
A business contract.
Like if you can step out of it and step out of your feelings and say, hey Kimone, was I just tripping? Like you probably was just tripping. Just accept that you were wrong. And many people don't like to accept that they're wrong.
No one likes to admit that they're wrong.
But it's okay. It's a strength. It may feel like it's a weakness, but it's a strength to say I was wrong. Your way might have been better, and I didn't listen. I didn't want it because I thought I was right. But your way turned out to be better, and you know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I said about both parties in the argument wanting to be heard. I can see you not having an argument if you know how to communicate what you're feeling, and if you know how to listen. Even if you guys are not on the same page, you know how to listen and communicate with each other. So that's important. So what's another one?
Like Conrad said, no relationship is ever done. That's why you talk restless. Talk reckless. No relationship is ever done. I think relationships can be done.
I think so.
I think you can end it, and you can definitely. The interactions might be finished. Maybe you might have some residual things going on the inside, but once you say I'm done and you cut ties and no one's calling each other, you cut communication. Done is done. I think so, though. Yeah. If you said that's why you talk restless. I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
I'm not quite sure what that means, but give us a little bit more, Conrad Henry, so we can delve into it. All right. So we talked about compatibility.
Yeah, we talked about
equally yoked.
Compatibility. We talked about being able to communicate with each other properly. What else? How do you know that the person you're with is who you're supposed to be with?
Now, even with the compatibility piece, we talk about religious views. If the religious views are the same, worldviews. If your worldviews are the same, are you a humanitarian? Do you volunteer? Do you believe that you're supposed to give back? Those little core. We may see that they're little things, but if there's something that's big in your heart, if it's a part of you, then that's something you should voice to let your partner know, hey, this is what I like. How about trust? Um, is the person right for you if you can't trust the person?
No.
Hmm.
And I think it goes both ways. You have to trust each other.
Mm-hmm.
But in trusting each other, you have to do stuff that's not untrustworthy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not like to play with words, but that's true. And I think that there's some situations where you can make the other person feel like you cannot be trusted, right? But then there's also baggage from your past that can make you not trust the person that you're with, right? But I think for it to work, you have to trust each other in like everything. Trust the type of decisions that your partner's gonna make. Trust the things that they're gonna say. Trust that they're gonna be consistent. That type of trust.
It says it takes, some people say it takes about 7 months to really build a concrete trust. It could be less, because depending on how often you interact with that person, it could be weeks, or you could just say, hey, you know what, I haven't necessarily built the trust, but we're starting a new, or this is a new endeavor, a new relationship. So I'm going to give you that 100% trust. And then, that's where we're starting. And I hope that's where we stay,
Yeah, or you could do the opposite.
I'm starting at zero.
I'm starting at zero. And you get to work your way up to 50.
To 50.
And eventually to 100. Well, where do you start? Do you start at, people, do you start at 100 and do I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and then start chipping away till you get to zero and then it's done? Or do you start at zero and have somebody build up their trust? I kind of like to start at zero and build up. I feel like that's a little less painful. Yeah. Start at zero and then you start putting in, let's call it golden nuggets of trust.
A little less painful, meaning you don't want to be vulnerable to the person, because you're holding your heart away from hurt.
Nope.
You're protecting yourself from being hurt. It could be where, hey, I've been hurt before, so I see signs, I know what can occur, so I'm going to start at zero.
No. I think that it's starting at zero because you don't know this person, and everybody has to earn trust versus giving all of your trust and just, acting like the person's 100. And then they start, because I feel like if you start at 100 and you start chipping away at stuff, at some point you start getting into this, you can get into this resentment area, right? Where you start resenting stuff. So I think you should start at zero.
All right, we got some Instagram family here. Political Illuminate and Amelia is on. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Do you know Amelia?
No.
All right. Hey, this sounds like the Walter person. Oh
my God. I'm not gonna go there today.
No, we're not. All right. So, oh boy, we just love our listeners. Oh my God, the comments are funny. All right, comment said, "Don't talk restless in a reckless, I guess, in an argument. Just leave. She'll call you even next year." Wow.
That's funny. Thank you, DJ BJ.
Wow. And that might be true too, because you know what? That might be true.
Yeah.
I've had individuals, not even have an argument, just not talk. And then months down the line, try to slide in my text and saying hello. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up now. On the reverse.
Do you see my face? That's
on the reverse. No. Once we've separated, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. All right. So is there how do you tell if the person is right for you?
So we said compatibility, communication, establishing a level of trust. If you guys trust each other, I think that having a good foundation, which I think starts with friendship, because it's funny how you don't want to hurt your friends. At least I think you don't want to hurt your friends, right?
Right.
But then when you're in relationships and the word love comes in, you seem easier to want to hurt that person. Does anyone feel that way? That you kind of feel like, oh, I can say something like what DJ VJ said, say, reckless. I could say anything reckless. But I find that in a good, solid friendship, you don't want to say things that are reckless.
Yeah. Things you can't take back.
Things you can't take
Things
back.
that are hurtful and mean.
Yeah, things that are hurtful and mean. Yeah. So, I think if you guys are good friends, then that is a good way to know that this person is supposed to, you're supposed to be with this person. Do you like the person?
Yeah.
Do you like the person? Do you like the person? Forget the love part and, the physical and the emotional. Just how about just like?
I think it's all about respect as well.
Yes.
And some people are like, hey, I don't want to walk on eggshells around you. I want to be myself. But if you have to tweak your behavior because you're just nasty or mean, that's probably what you should do.
Or you should be with somebody like that.
Or be with somebody like that. That's nasty too, right?
Yeah.
You're right. That's
be
good.
With somebody like that. So that when you both are being mean and nasty, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because
you
guys are.
Yeah, and that comes with compatibility.
Absolutely.
Or then you could be like, well, opposites attract. But, again, I think that at the end of the day, people need to be respectful of each other so that, you just want to be amicable. You want to live a life where, like you had said before, not necessarily wasting time, especially at when you're in your 20s, maybe you have more time to experiment and learn and change. There's a lot of change that occurs within 5 years, 10 years. Your body changes. Your desires change. Maybe your job changes. Do you want to be at this level or do you want to, go up in your career? There's a lot of changes. So
you learn more about yourself. So you're changing.
All right. So, okay. So if you see the warning signs, what about if your friends see something, I think we kind of touched on it earlier. If your friends see something in the person that you are aspiring to date or you're dating, your family sees it, your mom sees it, and everybody's telling you, that might not be that's not the right man for you, or that's not the right girl for you. Do you take that advice and leave, or do you take that advice and say, I'm going to see you?
You should, but you won't. And that's all I'm going to say. No, I'm kidding. You should, but you won't. Especially if it's like family and friends and, a bunch of people. Then you should take that advice and say, like, you know what, let me take a step back. And because, you're just not going to see those things. People are going to see things that you're not going to see because they're on the outside looking out and looking in. And unfortunately, I think most of us, if not all of us, need to see it for ourselves when we're in that crazy love place.
There's chemistry or a connection.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah. So, yeah, you're not going to listen, but you should listen.
Yeah, that's true. Especially if you've already invested time.
Oh, then you're definitely not going to listen.
You're just like, like it'll get better. And then you ignore them because now you see the red signs. And you're like, it's probably just gray or a little orange, right? It will get better as we mature in our relationship. Or then you have some women that are like, hey, I'm just gonna have a baby by him, and once I get pregnant, then he's definitely gonna stay. He'll love me more. Some people do that, and I'm hoping women are doing that less now and realizing that really doesn't work. Having a child for a man doesn't keep him.
Henrietta has a comment. Most of the time, we can't even see those fake friends and family. Imagine taking relationship advice from them. That's the flip side of what we just said.
Mhm.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Henrietta.
yeah, that's
But
true.
I mean, do you really think that all of your family and all of your friends are fake? Oh, no, no, no. I just thought of something else. What if your friends, thank you, Henrietta. You just
Yeah,
opened my
that
eyes.
was good.
What if your friends and family are fake?
And some do have that kind of family.
Right, right. They're fake.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't really take advice from them. So then what do you do?
Disown the. See, first of all, if my friends are fake, they're not going to be my friends for very long.
Okay,
Okay,
at all.
so we're done. Like, if you're fake, you're done. Like, there's no need to stick around with fake friends.
Yeah.
Family members, on the other hand, you can't really do anything about that other than stay away. If you have family reunions, then hey, you're stuck. You go drop in like we talked about before in the one of the other shows. You go in for a half an hour and say hi, you do you whatever, and then you go. Exit stage left, right? So, but if they're all against you, then first of all, I wouldn't even be telling them about my
Business,
person.
yeah.
I wouldn't be giving them my business at all.
No.
So they wouldn't even get the opportunity to tell me yay or nay.
Yeah.
No. Keep it real. Keep it real. Keeping it real. Keep it real up in here. You do have fake family members, unfortunately. And but I would suggest if your family members are fake, but there might be some truth, maybe, into some of the things that they say. You can still look into it, but I would grain of salt, grain of salt. And what Henrietta said, and he happily married someone else, and she is still single and regretting. Ah, so that person listened to the fake family and friends, left the man. Now the man is happy, and she's now single and regretting what she did. Well, see, she should have done some introspection on the type of family that she has. You know, I think that the mindset has to be strong, and it's not easy. But if you allow people to get into your business, you've allowed it. If you don't say anything, then they have nothing to say. She said, but the key to that is, I said, is that you don't know that they are actually fake. Okay. And you do not want to see, they don't want to see you happy, but you don't know that. Discernment. I think that discernment is going to be important. I also think, Yola, that, and Henrietta, that eventually you have to be able to know what you can live with. You have to be able to know, you know, if something is right for you or not. If you go with it, if she had went with him and she was happy, the family probably would have turned against her. They probably wouldn't have wanted to go to the wedding, you know. But then again, I kind of put it on her because if she, you gotta see, you can't, a family member or friends can't be fake forever and you don't see some signs. I think eventually you start to see who that person really is. You might not say, well, they're not 100% against me, but you can tell if, you know, psychologists say if you tell somebody something great, a news about you, you in the first second of their reaction, you can tell if they're for you or not. Yeah. Either they'll chuckle or they'll pause or they'll do something in their voice. There's an inflection. There's something that you can know if they're being cynical, if they're happy for you, but you have to be able to be cognizant to say, I'm going to watch out for this response. So you can tell. And if you think, I think that nobody can be crystal clean, squeaky clean, nice to somebody all the time for such a long time, for a very long time, and you don't see some signs. You got to see some signs.
Well, you said that he was happily married, and that could be on the outside that he looks happily married. You know, we don't really no, is he really happily married? But I agree with Kimon, as far as having fake friends and fake family members, I would hope that you would know who your fake friends and your fake family members are. No judgment, but I would hope that you know who they are. And if the person that you're with is treating you really well and you've been with that person for some time, you're not dealing with the representative, then I would hope you should be able to tell whether your fake friends and family are really telling you the truth, or if he really is not the one for you. And even though the friends and family may be fake, maybe that person was not the person for you. And now that that person has moved on, the person is happy because they weren't supposed to be with you.
Yeah.
Lots of ways that can go.
Yeah, lots of ways. All right, here's another one. If you don't build trust and respect, if that person is not putting you as a priority. Now, you may say if you marry someone that, is an entertainer and they're always out and about and meeting new people and just around a lot of people, or they have their own business and they're out there and they're grinding and they're flying somewhere and they're coming back and you hardly get to see them, many will say that, at that point, you just have to trust that individual and hope that that person is, doing right by you, as opposed to him not having a job or having, is depending on you financially and you're taking care of him and he's always at the house. He's always at the house. He's going to give you his undivided attention. He's going to leave when you leave and come back when you're here, but making sure that your person prioritizes you and have a balance with you, that's going to be a good thing. If they don't prioritize you and try to make sure they communicate with you and figure out, they'll, talk about schedules. Like, this is what I have to do. This is what you have to do. Let's intentionally meet, even via phone. Let's talk, let's Zoom, let's FaceTime. Let's be intentional about our communication so we can keep the communication going.
To that point with the trust, whether it's somebody that is always on business trips or in whatever industry where you guys are not together all the time, or if it's somebody that stays at home and you are the one working, or whatever the situation, even if it's the other way around. The man is working and you're at home, and you both expect each other to be doing and acting and being a certain way. It takes a lot of trust. You guys trust each other, So I think trust is right up there with if that person is the person you're supposed to be with. You can't trust the person, then no. No, because you're always going to be stressed, wondering what that person is doing.
Don't walk into a situation where you already see it, and because you don't want to be alone, or you don't want to feel like you're lonely, that you decide that, hey, it's better than being single. No.
I also think that as far as if that person is the person that's for you, if you're somebody that needs to see someone's actions and not words, then I would think, like you just said, the way the person treats you and the way that you treat that person, and it's good enough for the both of you, then I think that's an excellent way of knowing if that person is the person for you. Is how you treat each other, how you are with each other.
Yep. Smile says, why? That's why a nurse shouldn't date a rapper.
Why not? What if she's a traveling nurse?
But she's a traveling nurse, like the rapper is a traveling entertainer, right? It's 404-916-5138. Give us a call so we can chop it up if you have anything that you want to add. All right. So I want to say Viscosity Blend, You Choose Radio, Zion Highness Radio, Reggae Global Radio, family. We always love and appreciate you. I'm going to give a quick ad for all your construction needs. Make sure you call J&P Construction. Ask for Junior Williams at 678-927-6945. Again, 678-927-6945. And if you are in the Atlanta area and you need some curb appeal, you want to make sure that you get your yard done nicely, call Reggie at LMM Lawn Care at 404-246-9582. Again, 404-246-9582. Give them a call and let them know that you heard about them from the Positive Forces Show. Get your 10%, guys. All right. So, hey, this relationship thing, like you said, that 4-letter word is hard. It's a lot of work. 4 letters should be easy, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. If you have a man that only calls you late at night, he only wants to come to your house, red flag. He doesn't want to take you out, red flag. That's true. You got some men, that's it. And some women, if the women are doing that, they're not into you. And some men get hurt as well because women are using them. A lot of men are saying that now that, they feel used. And the big thing is, how is it that a woman that doesn't have much financially or, at all, they're expecting to have, a man that has 6 figures, makes 6 figures, a man that has, is wealthy, he has good credit, things like of that nature. Look for people, and they say typically men don't care. As long as they love a woman, they're going to do what they're supposed to do and keep that woman right. But then you got some men that will just want to use you women and just to get whatever you have. So be on the lookout for those kind of flags to see, if he always wants for you to send him money electronically, and never repaying you, or you're just going to say, hey, if I give this to you, it's going to be a gift, then fine. But yes, he might be having a low time, but if you met somebody when you're having a low time, was that the right timing for you to have this relationship? So there's a lot of, to think about. Make sure you analyze what you're getting into. Make sure you know what you want to get into. And whatever you decide that you get into, know that, consequences and rewards to it. Yeah. Why'd you put your head down? That's not a bad But it's the truth. It's the truth. And then the truth. It's the truth. And we said that we want to talk about honesty here, and that can happen. Some men are really not. They just want to be with you to Netflix and chill, and that's all they want to do. They don't want to go anywhere. They don't. That's all they want to do.
I would have to say to that point, if to know if that's the right person for you. If he just wants to Netflix and chill and not do anything, and you two want to Netflix and chill and not do anything, then that is a great match. You guys can Netflix and chill together. But if you're with somebody that likes to always be on the go, likes to go hiking and adventure and zip lining and go camping and check out museums or festivals and art and stuff, then you shouldn't be with somebody that's a homebody. That's basically what that is. And there's nothing wrong with people who want to be a homebody. Some people like to watch. I love movies. Doesn't mean I don't like to go hiking. I like everything, but if you know that you're a homebody, then be with somebody that's also a homebody. And then it shouldn't be a problem if you both are homebodies and you're okay with that. That's perfectly fine. And if you're somebody that wants adventure, then be with somebody that likes adventure. But don't think that if you're someone who loves adventure, that the homebody is going to be compatible with you or is the right person for you. Because, the last thing you want to do is try to be somebody that you're not, or have this delusion in your mind that you can change this person or expose them to more things and it's going to change and they're going to like it because they want to be with you so bad. No. That's no, it doesn't work.
No. They'll accommodate you for a little bit. And hopefully they're honest to say, you know what, that's not something that I'm into, but I'll do it because you like us to do it, but don't expect me to do it all the time. I think that's fair as well. Yeah, because what if there's something that he wants to do that you absolutely are like, no, I'm just not, I don't want to do that. And then, eventually you're going to probably say, okay, I'll do it once or twice. I'll compromise. But please, don't put something on someone that they don't want to do and put them in a situation where it can become unfair or become an issue in the long run. So I think communication is very important to talk through these things, even the little things, because remember that, you both grow up in different environments. You go have different ideologies of life, and, everyone will not be the same. You're never going to be thinking 100% the same. So what your expectation is not necessarily his expectation. So talk about it. The little things you say he should know. No, we tend to do that as women and say, he should at least know that, but not necessarily. So try to have a conversation about it all.
Not if you didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
We're not mind readers.
Yeah.
I mean, some of us might be telepathic, and women have a lot of instinct. But no.
Yeah. Talk about it. Talk about if it's an issue with the door, he might be a man that loves to do chivalry, and he opens the door. Then that's fine. He might even ask you because he tried opening the door for somebody else, and he got rejected or was told, hey, listen, now I can open my own door. Even something as small as that there should be a conversation around it, as opposed to saying, hey, I don't want you to open my door. I don't need you making me breakfast. Talk about it. And so that other person doesn't feel inferior or doesn't feel like, their good deeds are going to waste. Yeah. Final thought.
No.
Final thoughts.
Guys.
I see some people on. We gotta say hi.
Hi.
Can you see?
Yes, I can. Kind of can.
Brown Baptist.
I want to say shout out. Sorry, guys, the camera's there, but let me shout out Lisa Brown Baptiste.
Okay.
My family, all the way from Trinidad.
Hey,
shout
family.
out to you.
That's what's up.
And I have 2 other people.
Yes, it's like senior. I can't read it either.
Yola. Yes, that's me. Hey,
Mrs. Sinua, I can't. She said, whoop, whoop. All right. Pamela Forbes, cook for me, please. All right. Exactly. I would love a man that can cook. And cook well too.
That's compatibility.
I'll take a man that cooks over a man that cleans any day. Any day. I will be cleaning because I'm okay with cleaning, but the cooking, please cook. All right, let's go into our final thought.
Yes. Oh, the part I don't like is the final thoughts. Why? Because I just love talking with you guys and sharing thoughts and getting feedback. And I love you guys, everyone that checks into the Positive Forces show every Saturday from 4 to 5 and Sunday. Love, love, love. So my final thought, I'm going to go back to what Yoli's thought was today. To this week, moving forward, let's try to be ourselves.
Yeah.
Accept you. Know that you are good enough, that you are you, and there's only one you. And embrace that. Embrace who you are. Be who you are. That doesn't mean be rude or don't be kind or don't be compassionate, which are the things I usually talk about on my final thought. But just be you. Be truthful with yourself and be truthful with others. Love yourself and love others and be compassionate.
All right.
That's the final thought, guys.
All right. Hey, honesty is the best policy. Communicate, trust, love, be vulnerable. Yeah, you might have your guard up, but break it down a little bit sometimes and give love a chance. All right, that's my thing to you this week. Give love a chance. Be compassionate. Let somebody know that you love them today. Tell them you love them. Give them a hug. 20 seconds of a hug becomes therapeutic. Guys, have a fantastic rest of the week. We love you and stay blessed.
Yay.
Yeah.